welcome to another edition of Chicago Crossing Model Railroad Layout Update. It's me, Eric. First off, I've been going through the inventory of rail cars and found a bunch of stuff that I've weathered by hand and haven't run in a long time. You can see it being pulled by this Burlington Northern SD40-2 here. All stuff that I'm kind of deciding whether or not to keep or whether or not to maybe sell. And if I sell it, haven't quite decided what the modality for doing so is, eBay, etc. Who knows, but might decide to just thin out some of my rail cars. So running them around the track a little bit, see if they spark joy, and if not, I suppose I will spend a little time maybe selling them. So we'll see. I'll let you know if I decide to do anything in that realm. Anyway, new things on the layout. No doubt you've seen a fair bit of activity with respect to the Cassidy Tires warehouse. That is more or less complete from the exterior finish point of view as well as from the exterior lighting point of view. The video about how I managed to do the exterior lighting is forthcoming. Short answer to that is all of those little fixtures that are lighting the signage. That's basically a small custom modification of a Pico LED. Essentially what I did is put on a small channel with a little end cap on it, all just built out of small scale polystyrene. And then the two wires that run from the LED are actually the armatures that are supporting it out there. I basically just painted it black or NATO black and clear coated those wires so that stiffens them up a little bit, but at the same time retains enough flexibility so you can kind of pose them and just make sure that they aren't warped in some weird way. There's a penthouse light and then a couple of Atlas lights, one over where I'm maybe considering to put some like a dumpster and a trash compactor, and or what might be a little bit more likely for that area unless I want to renovate the scenicking over there and maybe add a little bit of pavement. And actually, again, it's an and or. Is also to build in kind of a larger set of power poles holding a bank of transformers, and that would normally power that building. You can see those prototypically pretty much everywhere in an urban environment or near a large building, and it may well be that I decide to build that structure. That would actually fit nicely with the fact that I'm going to be redoing some of the old telegraph poles that would follow along the track line. I've been spending a reasonable amount of time researching how things like that looked back in the 90s on different railroads in the Chicago area, just to get a sense of exactly what I'm looking for and what I'm thinking of getting into. I do have, and I think I showed them in the last layout update, some poles and also some showcase miniatures, arms with the little insulators and things like that. I am also considering, though, just for expediency, maybe scratch building a bunch of that stuff. Probably all of that will be part of a big power line project coming up in the coming weeks to month or so. That'll be an important project for sure. Alongside that, speaking of power, all of these buildings are going to get cleared off again. The layout is going to be popped up yet again like a car hood. And I'm going to be doing some more work and modifications to all of the electrical wiring underneath to further improve the stability of what's down there, as well as to install a little bit of new tech. I am starting to look into Arduinos to be used for a couple applications. Number one, maybe just kind of dealing with some of the lighting that you see here in terms of on-off, but also for the Finkel steel mill, the goal will be to have a easy way to simulate an arc furnace, electric arc furnace firing in there, which means essentially having a combination of LED activity that would look almost like welding, which you can see when an arc furnace is actually going, as well as pulsing orange glows and things like that, which would occur due to all of the other molten metal in the area. So that will be kind of an interesting bunch of fun to have. If I'm really feeling into it and I start to get good at programming Arduinos, then probably also put in a sound component. Electric arc furnaces are extraordinarily loud. I think for the Finkel steel build, that'll be some good infrastructure to just kind of get laid down, even if I don't have the building there yet. I know what the general dimensions of the building are going to be, and so that's more or less just a thing I'm going to take care of while I've got the layout lifted up. A couple of other projects that will be ongoing, and this is kind of looking more into the 3 to 6 month range. Number one is it will be time to cover up all of these rock faces that you see here with something more prototypical to the Chicago area and still appropriately in scale, which will be cement retaining walls. This is part of my approach to try to minimize the mountainous look of this thing, given that there is none of this type of topography in the Chicago area. It's actually more Western Illinois. And again, if you see the video about some of the starting errors of this layout earlier on, before I had the concept to really make this about Chicago, it was much more about Southwestern Illinois. And so at that point, having things that looked a little bit more like Starved Rock makes sense. Now, the plan here is not to actually remove the rock faces. The plan is actually just to insert these over them, the retaining walls over them. Most likely, these will be polystyrene builds, but there's always a couple of other good materials that are out there. And then I'll basically just backfill and then put some some stuff on top to more or less seal it together, put new turf down, and you wouldn't know there's a rock face there. The bigger picture with that is the tunnel that is up here in the left front will at some point get turned into a flyover and a sort of, above grade run of an abandoned rail line, which you can see quite a few of on the south side. That's actually, some of those are now being converted to rail trails, but in the world of the layout, that'll basically just be abandoned right-of-way. And so there will be a few modifications to what you see here in order to make that kind of pop a little bit more correctly. But at the same time, it's going to be largely what you see, in the sense that there's going to be overgrown trees and there will be a couple lines of track running through in various states of decay. So a few notes on upcoming programming for the channel. On Wednesday will be Train Talk number 7. I'll talk a little bit about what it's like to sort of function as what feels like a permanent beginner on a layout, as well as to talk about the concept of leveling up and enjoying the experimentality and novelty of this whole hobby and all of the new things and new challenges that you can do, or that you can make for yourself when you're trying to kind of up your game. In addition, that following weekend, I will be detailing a little bit further about some of the work to electrify the exterior of the Cassidy Tire building. So that'll be about the next week or so of programming. That video footage is already in the can and basically just needs to be edited. However, I travel most of the week for work, so when I come back, it'll be time to go ahead and sit down at the editing booth and go ahead and get that stuff cut up for you.
All right, with all of that out of the way, be sure to have a good rest of the weekend, and talk to you soon.